Welcome to Equal Inspired, the inclusive podcast. Brought to you by Equal IT.
Luisa Escalona joins us, a software engineer and certified encouragement consultant, a positive discipline parent educator, and empowering people in the workplace facilitator. She works as an engineering manager for a SaaS company based in Malmö, Sweden, where she blends her technical expertise with a passion for empowering people. With over 17 years of experience in the software industry, Luisa has evolved from a passion for writing great code to a commitment for building and nurturing high-performing teams. She focuses on personal growth, collaboration, and cultivating a culture of mutual respect. Since 2019, Luisa has delivered engaging talks and hands-on workshops that inspire teams and individuals to reach their full potential. By combining her technical background and strong interpersonal skills, she fosters a collaborative and supportive environment where teams can truly thrive.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're so excited to have you. And actually, Luisa, this is a very special episode because it's our last episode of 2025. I know that you've built a reputation over the years as the queen of workshops because of your passion for empowering others. And that's something that really inspires me about you, Luisa. But we'd love to know who or what do you feel has inspired that desire to deliver through workshops?
It all started with my first certification as a Positive Discipline Parent Educator, because until that point, every workshop for me, it was more like a presentation or a class. But when I attended that certification, they didn't even have a slide, anything like that. They just were having activities, we were participating, everyone was engaged. And after every activity, you had like this moment where you reflect on what you did, how you felt, what decisions do you wanted to make. And that was like a breakthrough for me. Like, this is a really good way to teach people something. And in the process, you as a facilitator are learning too, because you have different people, and every time you do the same activity, you have a different experience. So having that moment where you are actually living through what you are trying to teach, because these activities are very experiential. So we have role playing, we have moments where you have do exercises. So you are living what you are trying to learn. And at the end, that sticks with you. After you leave the workshop, you're still thinking about it. And when you are facing the situation, you were trying to have a different outcome, then you have like a tool in your toolbox. You have a different way to face the same situation because you already practiced it during the workshop. It was like, okay, yes, this is a safe space where we can practice, where we can play, we can laugh, we can learn. And at the end, that's the main thing. You are learning. So that was the thing for me, the Positive Discipline Parent Educator Training that I took back in 2019.
Wow. Wow, and that's so interesting because I feel as the world is evolving and you have like the social media, the doom scrolling, attention spans aren't quite what they were. And it's quite difficult to just be in a room listening to just talking presentation for a long period of time, right? So the fact that you are intertwining this interactiveness, the exercises, the learning by doing is so powerful. How did you find out about this certification?
Everything started when I became a mom and I wanted to be a good parent for my kid. So I started looking for information online, and he was around 3 years old when I found a Positive Discipline course for parents. So I took the classes. I was like, this is really, really good. I like it. But this class was not that interactive because it was online. So it was the possibilities of doing this. That moment, people were not used to do things online as it is now. And after I finished this course, I was interested, oh, how can I do this for others? How can I teach the positive way to other people? And I started looking for certifications, and I found that in Lima, I was living back then in Peru, they have a lot of trainers, and they were offering regularly some courses. So one weekend, I spent the whole weekend doing the certification. And it was the moment where I said, yes, I really want to do this. And after I finished, I realized this is not just for parents. This way of this way of teaching, it can be transferred to any area.
How do you feel this course that you did has influenced your leadership style and helped you become a stronger leader?
Since the moment you take the stage to talk about something you care about, when you are teaching by doing, when you are doing things in a kinder way, when you are trying to lift the spirit of the team or your team members, because I've been a team member for some time, but it's always this desire of bringing the best out of people that brought me here. That after I took the certification, I said, like, I want to help other moms to be better moms or parents in general. But is that desire that we have the tools. We need to learn the tools, but we have the willingness, we have the courage to do it. So it's like, okay, let's look inside. What do you have? And how can we use that to level up, to be better, to improve? And this, I think, in my current work, in my current job, it's been like that for quite some time, because we've been to different moments where we have reorganizations and people leaving or new people coming. And it's been like, okay, what is our core value? What are we as a team? What is the culture that we have? And that now is very transparent and everyone can see it. But at the beginning, it was not like that. So when I do these activities and workshops, is to do that, to create this collectiveness culture that we feel comfortable and we feel that we can thrive. It's not just doing my job and that's it. It's like, I care about you as a team member, as a person. And when we are all together in this, we can be better.
It's about that sense of community, that sense of collaboration, like you say, that you can actually bring your whole self. And that is a core component of belonging, which is absolutely vital for any team to really thrive. Tell us about your most recent workshop. I know you've been quite busy recently with traveling as well and delivering.
Most recently was a new activity I came up with the help of AI, but it was about how you can be more productive when you have a lot of distractions. How can you be kinder with yourself? Have a little compassion, because sometimes we want to be productive and we want to do everything. And we try to, during the day, feel like, I'm going to do this and this and this and this. And at the end of the day, oh, I didn't finish anything. Or I don't know, I felt like I did a lot of things, but nothing really. And the workshop was about that. And everybody was very open. They participated, they got engaged, they were laughing. And at the end, it was this moment of reflection, like, yes, we need to take this easier. And that's the thing, that when you do these activities and you live it, it's like, yes, I cannot be that hard on myself. Because now with this, it was like, you feel like you are joking with your colleagues, but at the end, it's like, yes, this is totally transferable to my day-to-day. So let's be less hard.
I feel like I need this workshop, Luisa, like already from what you've been saying. I need this workshop. Would you mind sharing about the exercise, a flavor of what they had to do?
In this case, there were two exercises. One is about attention. So we have an item, usually is a pen. Everybody is standing, we are in a circle, and we have a pen. Everybody has one, and I'm reading a story. And in that story, is a story about a family that goes on vacation. And every time I say the word left, they need to pass the pen to the person to their left. if I say right, it has to go to the person to the right. So you should always have one pen in your hand while listening to the story. And at the end, I ask questions about the story. So you can imagine when I'm reading this and the story goes is not that long, it's like a one page. But when I say right, because I'm reading something that it has like 3 sentences or 5 sentences together and they all end in right, and then sometimes in one sentence you say left, and everybody's just laughing. And when I'm asking the questions, sometimes there is one question that every time most people know the answer because it's something that is like important. It's like, oh, this is important. This is something that can happen to anyone. It's about a stove, leaving the stove on at home. But the other questions, names, places, is like, no, nobody can answer that because it's really hard to try to do two things at the same time. It's not that you are not paying attention. It's like your attention is divided. So you cannot be juggling with two tasks at the same time. And the other activity, it was about completing a task. It was like trivia. So I had 10 questions. They were working in groups. And I had 3 people with some questions. They were more like personal questions or, oh, how was your weekend? Or what are you having for dinner? Things like that. And these 3 people were interrupting every team. They were trying to fill out the trivia. So they were living what it's like to be trying to focus and finish a task and having someone interrupting you all the time. And they took we ran the questions at the end. So they were like, okay, we got these many questions right. And then we did it again, but with a different set of questions. But these 2 people were not interrupting anymore. They were part of the group. So they actually finished the trivia. Before, they couldn't even have passed the question number 6. But in the second round, when nobody was interrupting, they could finish it. And it's this feeling that, yes, I understand what it's like to be every day trying to do some work and someone comes to ask me something and then I break focus and then I need to concentrate again what I was doing. What is it? What is this about? These moments that we think is nothing, it's just part of my work, it's part of my reality. This context switching at the end of the day is taxing you. You feel tired, you feel disengaged because it's like, what I'm doing here, how I'm spending my time, why I feel like I did a lot of things, but at the same time, I didn't accomplish anything. And this cause of context switching, if we leave this for a long time, every day is happening, we can burn out. And nobody wants that. That's the truth. We don't want to get to that point. So this is creating awareness about if you need time to focus, find the time to focus. And blocking a time to do focus work, to go to a meeting and discuss something. If you want to have a discussion with your team, book a meeting room, go there. Don't interrupt other people. Don't have discussions in the middle of the room where everybody else is working, because this can tax at the end, and we don't want that for anyone.
It can become quite literally overwhelming when there's just too much going on in your head. It's like your browser having like 100 tabs open, right? And that slows down the browser as well, and it's crashes and it's unable to function. And very much like humans, I love what you've said there. It's so, I feel, relevant to the world we're in right now. There's always so much to be done and it feels like there's never enough time, but that's because maybe our attention isn't laser focused and sharp on what it should be doing. But that can be quite difficult to be true to yourself in that and to respect your own boundaries. What would be your advice to someone here who is finding that a bit tricky? Like, putting in those boundaries so they can have that focused time?
I think the most important thing is to discuss it with your team. When you are clear about it and you say why you need this, why are you setting boundaries? Why are you blocking time in your calendar? People usually understand. And actually, they start doing the same. Like, I realized, oh, yeah, I need that too. That could be good for me too. But for me, is the honesty. You need to be honest. You need to be transparent. Why I need this? I want to perform better. I want to do better because I want to bring the best of me to my team. It's not just that, oh, I just want to be isolated. It's, it is important for me to perform right. So I need this time. And it has to be under an agreement. It can be like, oh, I'm going to be blocking this time now and I will disappear. If your team already arranged a meeting during that time, that's not going to work. So you need to be clear about that. And with the team, you can set a strategy. Okay, let's say we have one focus day or half focus day. This moment, we are not going to book any meetings, so you can have this time you need to work on the things you need to.
Yeah, and it really highlights that importance of communication and transparency in your team. That is the guiding light to success. Being as transparent as you can, communicating the why behind what you're doing as well, storytelling is also valuable. Um, Sounds amazing, this workshop, like really, truly fantastic. And I know you had the help of AI as well. I'm just curious how AI helped you and how you feel you positively utilized that to create this interactive, exciting workshop.
Usually, when I'm doing the workshops, I have a lot of activities already from all the certifications I have. I pick something from there. But if I've done the same activity several times or at least twice with the same group, I'm like, okay, I need to get to the same goal, but with a different activity. So I start thinking, how can I represent this feeling? And this is where I use it. Okay, I want ideas for an activity where people start feeling this way and then and feel ending at the end they feel this way because of this they can during the activity they can feel these things like stress and overwhelming. And then I have ideas. AI gives me some ideas, and I pick one. And from there, I'm starting to refine. Okay, now I'm gonna change this. I don't like this that much. And at the end, I get what I wanted, but it was not just give me an activity. It has to be very clear about what is my goal, and also align with my style because sometimes it's just generic. So I don't use it like that. I take it, I refine it, and I adapt it to my style and the workshop I'm delivering.
Great tool for idea generation, but even better that you then take that, you customize, you tailor it to your style, to the community that you're going to be delivering it to. I'm curious, through designing and delivering these workshops, being the queen of workshops, of course, but what have you learned about yourself on this journey?
To me, is realizing that doing this, helping people to reach their potential, to improve any part of their lives, is a calling. It's not just something that I do from time to time. I really, really enjoy this. And it's not just the part of me that feels fulfillment, it's also seeing the people, how they have these aha moments, how their eyes are brightening during the activities, during the workshops. And at the end, when they come to me and like, thank you so much. How did you come up with this idea? Or where is this coming from? I have never experienced something like this. This is a way. And I think for me, it clicked. This is something that I really enjoy. I feel fulfillment, but also is delivering value to others. It's something that they appreciate, and it can be transferable to any aspect of your life.
That's so beautiful. Like, truly, that you find something that really does give you that fulfillment and you're helping others, you're making a difference, you're making an impact. Honestly, Louisa, it's so inspiring. And you've been in the industry for 17 years, bringing wonderful experience in the tech industry. Of course, that time, that moment clicked where helping others, empowering others was a calling for you. But I want to know, when was it that it clicked that technology, coding, this world would be for you?
This is a fun story because when I was in high school, I didn't think about tech at all. I was very good at technical drawing, so blueprints, stuff like that. You have the rulers and everything was millimetrically calculated. And I was like, yes, I want to be a civil engineer, is the name in Venezuela. But here in Europe, it could be something like construction engineer. So I was, yeah, this is my calling. I really like this. And I think it was 2 years or 1 or 2 years before the graduation, one relative with her family came to visit, and her husband was working in a university. And when we talk about what I wanted to study, he was like, but why are you not going to tech? This is the future. This is the, yeah, you should go to tech. There are a lot of construction engineers in the country, but not that many in the tech industry. Think about it. And it was like a seed. He planted the seed, and I reflected about it. I thought, yeah, maybe this is something that I could do. And after reading about all the careers I could attend to, I decided, yes, I will go for this. My career is called in Venezuela. If I have to translate it literally, it could be informatics engineer. So, but some people call it computer science engineer, computer engineering. I don't know. But informatics engineering. And I started the classes. I remember how I fell in love with the logic. It was just, to me, it was very clear. This is right. I really like this. And I remember my professor back then, he was asking me about, because I was doing really good at class, and he was asking me, yeah, are you enjoying this? I was like, yes, I really like it. If you like this, you are gonna like programming. I'm sure about that. It's like the base. And after that, he was completely right. After that, it was just like, yes, I like the structure. I like the way you are solving problems. You need to think about multiple uh, inputs and how are you going to get to the output you want. But after I started working, it was about helping people. It was about building tools for real people to solve real problems. And hearing their experiences, like, oh, now I can save this much time because of this tool is making me more efficient, or I'm more productive now, or I have time to take care of other tasks because this is making it easier for me.
Shout out to both those people that gave you that idea, that planted that seed.
I'm very grateful.
That's, I guess, some unexpected turns that led you to beautiful destinations. But throughout the journey, were there any other unexpected turns that you took that were maybe challenging, actually, and a little bit difficult, but the outcome led to something beautiful?
I would say it was after I became a mom. Everything about the positive discipline, because the base for positive discipline, the encouragement program, the empowering people in the workplace program, the base is the same. The individual theory developed by Alfred Adler. And in summary, what he says is people want to feel belonging and significance. And the first place where we try to belong is our family. And then when we're growing up is in the school, with our friends, with our colleagues at work. So you are always trying to belong to something bigger than yourself, and also to contribute, that what you are doing is meaningful. to others. It's not just good for you. And that drives our behavior. And when I took this certification and I started to learning about that, to me it was like, yes, you can have this logic and this mindset about solving problems, but you also have to take care of the other aspect. You have to be aware of the people that are behind that, people that are going to use the products you build, the people that are with you developing the products. It's not just about the product or the software, it's about all of us. What are we doing? And you can see a lot of engineers, they want to do something that is meaningful. It's not just building because of sake of building. It's we want this to be good for someone else.
Just again, like it's so refreshing to hear how transformative this certification and this course has been for you, just in terms of mindset, style, delivery, all of these things. Like it's just really nice to see that you've taken the action on it, because I think sometimes, we can get quite overwhelmed, back on that theme of overwhelmed, but there's so many courses and certifications that you can take. And sometimes you end up taking so many that you end up not necessarily implementing those guiding principles or following through with it. It's just something to add on to your CV because it looks nice and shiny. But you are really living, breathing proof of someone who is taken those lessons, implemented it, and how it has impacted positively your career trajectory, your life. Like I say, you're now engineering manager, and it's been so awesome to see your growth and your journey. So it's just really great to hear that. Of course, nothing is ever 100% easy, and with life and work, there can be challenges. What's your personal mantra or go-to phrase that keeps you moving forwards?
This is not forever. Any anything. It could be something good and I'm really happy about it, and it could be something that is really challenging or demotivating. This is not forever. It's like it's just a moment. So I have to keep going. That's it. For me, it's like don't stop. Enjoy the moment if it's a really good moment, but don't think that it's over. The journey is it ended here. No, no. This is not forever. And if it's a really hard time, just face it as it is. One challenge and keep going.
I love that. Very motivating. Very motivating. And over your career, you've worked across many different places: Latin America, the US, Europe. Of course, you're in Sweden now. And I'd love to know for you, what was your first experience like adapting to a new country, both personally and professionally?
I was living in Venezuela. I grew up there. I got my career there. I got married there. And then we moved to Peru because of my husband's job. And while I was there, this first migration, at first I was just trying to understand how I could get my son to school. How can I have a routine? And then it was hard because at that moment I already was working independently as a consultant. And in Venezuela, I had my contacts, I had my networks, and they were referring me people like, oh, I have a friend that wants this application, or they have a need. Can I put them in contact with you? And that was easy. But then I moved to a different country where I don't know anyone. It's harder. So I remember what I did back then was starting to reaching out people. So I contacted some people that I got to know through parent meetings or in another activities, and I saw they had a need because of our conversation or something, and then they got back to me like some, of course, not everyone. Yes, I have a need for this. Can you help me? And then that person recommended me to someone else, or I remember someone just contacting me. Someone recommended you. They never told me who was it, but yeah, I got someone like that. But is that part of starting a new network, starting to knowing people, to meeting in different areas. There are people that, and it's not just about work, it's also life in general, because you don't know your neighbors, you don't have a network you can rely on. For example, relatives that I had to be with my son when he was not at school. I didn't have anyone to take care of him for quite a while. So it's this that you can struggle a lot, because you have to deal with all of that. And at the same time, you have to deal with your career, your aspirations. What do you want for you? How do you want to grow? So it's putting a balance. And to me, that was one of those moments that this is not forever. This is just a moment. Is I need to keep going. And it took me a while to feel comfortable in there. But then after a few years, we lived there 5 years. And during that time, I worked with companies in the US, I worked with companies in Europe, and with entrepreneurs. A lot of entrepreneurs, they were having ideas, and it was really expensive for them to hire a big consulting company. So they contacted me. But after a while, we wanted a different change. We wanted a change. So I decided, okay, and it was the pandemic. In the Peru, the pandemic was very strict. You couldn't go outside, lockdown, full lockdown. And it got to a point where I didn't have any more consulting work, because people were like, we don't know what is going to happen with the world, so we are not investing in tech right now. And after a while, people got used to be working at home, having online meetings and doing everything online. I said, okay, now I need to find a job, but if I'm going to do it here, I'd rather do it somewhere else. And we decided to, okay, explore different opportunities. And that's how I got here to Sweden. I moved to Sweden because of this job, the company I work for now. And also at the beginning, just understanding the culture, understanding the way of working, and how can I bring value? How can I bring something different? Because it's not just, yeah, you are a developer and you can do developer work, but it's what makes me me. How can I bring more value to the team? And finding that, and being brave enough to bring it up, because I mean, let's face it, in the Nordics, the culture is very don't stand out. Just try to fit in. This is a challenge. And I see it as one. So it's not like I'm not going to do anything because this is how people live here. It's more like, how can I be respectful of this culture, but at the same time bring the value that I have? Because I see things differently. I can bring another perspective. That's what I have with me. And when we are clear about that, when we see the value on our differences, we can try to solve the problem in a better way. We can see each other's perspective and find better solutions. So it's having the end goal in mind. Sometimes you need to just try to understand what is happening in your environment, where are the challenges, and then you can see how your skills can help to overcome this challenge or improve something for the team or for yourself, for the place where you are.
There's a lot around understanding yourself too, like really being in tune with what you bring to the table, your strengths. And that can really help in terms of how you then integrate into an environment. What were some of the deciding factors for you joining that company? Because that's a big decision, right? To move halfway across the world into Scandinavia, very different in terms of many different aspects.
I remember, because this question, they asked me this multiple times. What made you apply for this job? And it was the job description. They had one section, they were saying, our tech stack is not very common, and it's not, actually. It's like a few engineers would know the tech stack we use. But that's not a problem. You can learn it here. And to me, it was like, huh, They value all the experience I have, my willingness to learn, not the experience with that specific technology. Because when you are senior, I mean, in that moment, I was 14 years in the job, and most people were expecting me to be, I don't know, 8 years working with the same technology. But it was not, because I was working with different people, with different companies. I was a consultant, so I was working with a lot of different technologies. I felt like I knew a lot of things, but at the same time, I was not an expert on any specific technology. But my expertise was about adapting, understanding the problem, understanding the users, because I had a lot of experience in that. So when they said, you will learn it here, no problem, I was like, this is the right place for me. They are valuing my experience, my adaptability, all the knowledge I got from all those technologies, not just valuing one.
And the rest is history. You're still there, still achieving so much and growing and doing great things, delivering great workshops in the company. For people who are new to Sweden in particular, taking the lessons that you've learned from relocating, settling in, understanding more the culture, what would be 3 tips maybe that they should be mindful of in terms of how they can best try and integrate into this new life?
I would say ask is the first one. Ask. Don't be afraid to ask, because I've noticed that people here are used to do things in their own ways, their routines, and most people assume that everybody else knows. So if you have to do something in an agency, let's say the migration agency or whatever, you need to do something. Most people are going to assume that you know what you have to do, and you don't. So go and ask. Here in Sweden, for example, if you are renting an apartment, you have to be in a queue, and there are a lot of different queues, and ask about it. Because people have been living here their whole lives. For them is, yeah, everybody knows this. But for you that are new, it's completely different. You don't understand it, ask. Find someone you can ask these questions. Another thing is try to integrate to a community where you feel that you belong to. It could be other people that are also expats. It could be people from your same career. If you are a parent, it could be other parents. Find a community that you feel you're part of because you have one thing in common with them. Just start talking to others. During the winter, it's going to be dark. You're going to be at home a lot of time. So trying to find these communities where you can spend some time, because it's not good for anyone if you just try to, oh, I'm going to work and then home and I'm not going to do anything else. We are social. We need to communicate with others. We need to socialize. So seek for these communities so you can be involved. And once you feel like, yes, I have someone to ask questions, I have a community I can join, then ask yourself, what do I want for me? What is my goal here? Do you want to learn a new language? Do you want to learn a new sport? Do something that is for you, for your growth. It could be personal, it could be professional, but do something for you. Just don't stay stagnated, like in the same place, and because you are here and that's it. This is my end point, and I got here and I'm not going to do anything else. We need to keep learning and growing. That's what makes us humans. We always want to improve. So find something for you. Find something that you are passionate about. It could be a hobby, but do something for you that brings you joy.
You got to put yourself first and use that idea of a new chapter as an opportunity to try new things and put yourself out there. And that's so important, finding your community. Very, very important. How have you felt that working across these different countries and in turn different cultures have shaped the way that you empower teams and how you really work to build that culture of belonging, respect, empowerment, collaboration?
For me, it's more like everyone has a different point of view, and creating a space where you feel comfortable bringing it up, saying what you think, how you feel. And when you have the mutual respect, and this is the base for everything, you have to be respectful of others. And when you offer respect, you get respect back. So from there, you can have powerful discussions. You can get to a point where, okay, maybe we don't agree, but we understand each other, and we understand where are you coming from. And getting to that is what I think it makes us a good team, because you can value everyone for what they are bringing, but also what you are bringing to them. It's like, it's not just me or it's not just you, it's the sum of all is bigger and better than just the parts isolated. And to me, that's the thing. You need to understand that people are different, they have different backgrounds, they have different experiences from childhood, from different countries, different religions. Everything is different, and everyone can have a perspective that can help you solve a problem in a different way. Because when we get everything together, we can come up with better solutions, or at least different solutions.
Because we don't all have the answers. Sometimes I think we're it can be easy to be set in your way that, okay, this is how it's going to be done. But like you say, the more you can welcome that diverse perspective, those ideas, it just generates a lot of inspiration, a lot of excitement. It makes it fun, it makes it different, and you don't always have to do it alone. The more you can welcome that, the better it will be. And navigating these diverse teams across countries, I know that you've seen firsthand what really empowers collaboration. And you touched on something there, mutual respect. So, so valuable. But this also fueled your passion for retrospectives. And I know that you created the Retros log. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
After I started my job here, a few months later, our team was basically, we were half of the team only. People were moving to different countries, different cities, so they move away. And we took this opportunity to shape how we wanted our team to be, to decide, okay, since we are here, the people that are left, what do we want to do with the team? How do we want to welcome new people? How do we want to work? How do we want to do this and that? Let's create of our way of working. And the key part of this was retrospectives. We had retros, I think it was every 3 weeks back then. And then we decided, okay, no, we're going to have it every other week because we need this. And in the retros, we created this space where we can just say, this is not working for me. I'm not making progress, or I'm very distracted, or this is overwhelming because it's a lot of work for me. And then we were shaping a way of working. Okay, let's try to fix this. Let's try this for the next couple of weeks. And then let's try this thing. And if something was outside of our circle of influence, we would talk to our managers. Okay, this is an issue that is repeating. Every retro, we talk about the same thing. What can we do about this? And after a few months, we were an empowered team. We were doing great job. When someone new joined, it felt natural for them. They were very appreciative about our uh, onboarding list. We didn't have any of that when I joined. And it was a moment when we realized we can decide how we work. We can make an impact for new people coming, to make them feel welcome and to feel as a part of the team from the beginning. So we kept doing the retros. And I remember one team member, he was like, I don't like any meetings, but in the retros, I want to be. That's the meeting I want to be, because we solve problems there. We are doing something to improve our way of working. And after doing this for quite some time, I was like, maybe people should also be encouraged to do this in other places. And to me, creating the retros log, it was more like having something, this workbook, where you can just for a moment, every other week, once a week, you can do it as frequent as you want, but having a moment where your team is discussing things and then you are writing what are you agreeing on is important, because you feel the accountability after that. It's not just words that are said and it gets in the air and it vanishes. No. It's you feel accountable, you feel responsible, and you feel committed to do what you said, because it was a decision made by the team. It was not coming from the top. It was not outside the team. It was you together who decided to do something. And it combines, in the retro, I combined different strategies or techniques from different books, and also certifications is from the Empowering People in the Workplace. There are some things that are from there, from books that I read, also from it was the product owner certification I took some time ago. So it was like, yes, let's combine all of these to create this format where teams can fill out what they agree in, and then they can reflect. Because if you see the same issue coming over and over again and it doesn't get solved, then it's time to ask for help outside your team, because it's not, you are not empowered enough, or you are not doing what is out of your scope, is out of your circle of influence. It's not you, it's like maybe it's too big for you. It's a decision that is bigger than your team. So talk to someone else. But it's a way to just reflect and iterate over and over again about what you are doing and how you can improve your way of working.
You've come up with a really successful way to have these retrospectives, and you've brought people in where they want to be in on these sessions because they are so transformative. On the other side of the coin, though, what do you feel people maybe misunderstand about retrospectives, so they're not doing it at the moment as frequently as maybe they could be?
I think for some people, they feel like we are just reviewing our work or goals, what we did. And that's not it. Because you have other things or other meetings to do that. You have to report your performance. You have other things. It's not the retro. The retro is for you as a team to improve your way of working. Also, I have seen people saying, yeah, but if I have a problem with a person, a specific person, should I bring it in the retro? The question is not about the person, it's about the task. If you are having a problem with the process to complete a task, then yes, you need to talk about it. But it's not about pointing fingers and saying, oh, you did this and you did that. Actually, in the beginning of the retro, I added a step. It's called the appreciation round. You start the meeting appreciating something about someone else. That way, you are realizing how other people are supporting you. And for the people receiving the appreciation, is acknowledging what they are doing for others and how others are seeing them. Because sometimes you are doing your job, you feel like it's just my work, is what I do, but you are creating an impact on someone else. And when that person is telling you in front of your team, thank you, because you did this week, it helped me to achieve this. You are creating this environment where you feel appreciated, but you also feel encouraged to appreciate others. So it's not about pointing fingers or saying who is doing what or if we are getting to our goals or not. It's about the way of working. How can we as a team use our skills to be better, to feel more comfortable, to improve as a team, not just individuals?
The people who are maybe new to this mindset around retrospectives and how to go about it, what would you say would be 3 non-negotiables that have to be put in place for these to actually be transformative, successful?
First is to have it in the calendar, like you schedule it, just schedule it. It doesn't matter if at the beginning it doesn't really feel quite right or I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. Just start doing it. That's the first thing. Schedule it. Second, the team should agree that what you are discussing there is only for the team. And you should have like a code. What we say here is just for us. We are not sharing this outside this room. You need to create that trust. And to be able to trust someone or people like that, because they are your team members, you need to do this regularly. It's not something that is going to happen overnight, that you do the first retro and everyone is going to start speaking their minds just like that. It's because you do it often, and time after time after time, they realize this is good for us. I have a space where I can talk, but also I can trust these people because they are not saying what we discuss here outside. And the third thing is just when you commit to something, try to achieve it. You need to end the retro with a goal. You cannot just be there venting or saying what is annoying about your daily work, or it's not about that. It's about committing to something. You need to end the retro with a specific goal that you are going to try something for the next days, weeks, the time you have until the next retro. And this creates the sense of, okay, we have something to do. The goal of the retro is not just getting together and have a nice time, is improving together. And to do that, you have to have actions. End the retro with something very concrete that you can try, that is within your circle of influence, something that you can feel that you actually are going to achieve.
Really fantastic tips. Thank you so much for sharing. And it's just been really special learning so much from you in terms of how you can really make workshops so interactive and engaging and how they really can be transformative. And just on that note, if you was to have a workshop about your life, what would the title be and what would the theme be?
I would say something about adaptability. It's been, I mean, this is the third country I'm living in, and I work in my career with so many different technologies, and I have worked with people from so many different countries. It's just a matter of adapting. And I need to be honest because I'm not a fan of change. At the beginning of a change, I feel like, oh, why are we changing this? I like routines like everyone else, but after this discomfort at the beginning, I'm just adapt. I just go with the flow. I understand this. This is just a new process, a new way of doing things, a new person coming in, a new culture. It's just adapting because we don't know where we're going to be tomorrow. So just keep going.
Keep going and know that those scary feelings of change, they're not going to be forever.
Exactly.
So if anybody is interested in having you deliver a workshop, is that something that you are offering?
Yes, it could be if someone wants to have a workshop for their team, a company, just reach me out. I'm willing to arrange something. Yes.
Wonderful stuff. So I'm going to leave your LinkedIn in the description box below. Is there any other preferred ways people could reach you?
That's okay for LinkedIn. I check it every day, so no problem. But if they want to see what I have done and what do I do for workshops and my workbooks, just visit my website, luisaescalona.com. That's it. You can find all the information there. And yes, please contact me.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to today's episode, and we hope you're feeling inspired. If you are, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and join us on our mission to create a diverse, inclusive, and equitable universe. This podcast is brought to you by Equal IT, a mission-driven business working to diversify tech teams through refined talent acquisition, complemented by diversity and inclusion consulting. As an Azure Heroes inclusive leader, we aim for teams to cultivate a strong sense of belonging and equity. Find us on Twitter and LinkedIn. We welcome your feedback, questions, and would love to hear from you. Join us next time on Equal Inspired.